Greetings and welcome to Spider McGavinport's channel. This time we are going to do a teardown of another controller, and we are going to replace its thumbstick from one of these old ones to a new and improved GameCube style thumbstick. They have a wider base on them, and they don't have that drift that sometimes these get over the years from being wore down. Or you see all that wear down in here? Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tear one of these apart so you guys can see the inside of one of these. This controller was just for demonstrations to show that it's already been inside of it and it works flawlessly, which I will demonstrate later. Here's another controller that I also replaced its thumbstick. And this will be the one that we are actually going to replace its thumbstick right here. Yeah, I'll do a little color combination. Yeah. So why don't you all tell me how your day is going and how you're going to spend your holiday, because it's coming up soon and mine is absolutely wonderful this year. I'm having nothing but a good year. Okay, as you can see at the inside, I mean, not much to cover there. Obviously these will fall out unless you figure out a way to mount them in there. But yeah. Oh yeah, and here's the new one right here. A little bit of bubble wrap. And I know how much everybody loves the little ASMR in their videos. Not too much bubble wrap on the bubble in it. If that made any sense whatsoever. Oh man. Yeah, so this is the new one. I'm debating whether or not I should take one of these apart, but nah. I'll just replace this one right here. And I really don't care if I did anything to it, because this is basically just a garbage part now. I may keep this one particularly for spares because some of them don't have that drift issue like others do. Yeah, and while we're at it, I might as well clean that area right around in here. I'm just saying, that looks a little bit gnarly, right? And a lot of the ledges and stuff in here too. So, yeah. I'd almost like to just soak this thing in the sink and just let it sit for a little bit. Actually, you know what? I think I'm going to do that. I'll be right back. Yeah, I'm glad I took it completely apart because, whoa, look at that. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and soak these parts in some soap and water. Get this. I should be wearing gloves almost, touching all this stuff. But yeah, no, the board itself looks actually really good. I won't have to do any scrubbing on this too much. So, oh, there's a little bit of spot right there. A couple others. Alright, see you guys in a little bit. I'm back. While those parts are drying, let's go ahead and work on this a little bit. You know, I don't believe I'm going to have to do too much cleaning on here. I am going to get any flux residue if I see any on here. I'll get that all cleaned off. And here I thought this was dirt, and well, it's actually just a marking. But yeah, those controller components, oh, they were filthy. So I'm glad I took it apart and I'm cleaning it now and fixing it up. Trying to restore it. to at least be able to use it. So if I have company over, I can have somebody else nab up an N64 controller and we can play a 4-player game of Conker's Bad Fur Day, because that is exactly what I am going to do after we put this back together again. Oops, sorry about the bump of the camera there. But yeah, let's go ahead and take one of these apart and see the inside of it, and you know, like, what makes it fail. Man, I love the N64 though. I had this back when I was in the service, and I would play my N64 games all the time in my rack. I used that Jensen little television with my N64, and I would Velcro it to the top of my rack while I was laying in there, and I could just play a game. So now you see what it looks like, the little armature in here. Get your left and right. And that would be for your left and right there. Very similar to what a mouse would have in it for a sensor. Pop that board out real quick too. Yeah. Was it IR? Here, let me go ahead and get it so that you guys can see it. Is it upside down? No, it was right side up. I'm having a hard time seeing it through the camera even. Sorry, everyone. And then that's what they are. That's cool. Never took one of these apart to admire it. I just took it apart to, you know, to clean it, with maintenance and all that. And some of these have noticeable lock, like right where where you don't want it to be at, and then it just sits there lazily. And that's where you would want the more new and approved ones. That'll come into play where they snap back. You don't have to worry about that. Yeah, I'm sold on these redesigned ones. I know it's taken away from the stock of your you know, your controller's stock features, but it's an improvement over the stock, in my opinion. I mean, other people might be like, "Oh, I like I like this one better. It has, you know, like more zone distancing between, you know, for precision and stuff like that." But I don't know, man. When I'm playing Conker's Bad Fur Day, this right here is where it's at. Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and get those other parts and stuff all dried off, and I'll see you guys in a little bit. We'll put it back together again and give it a shot through the N64. Ready, I'm back. Alright, so yesterday we had a bit of a snowstorm. I don't really want to call it a storm, more so just a bit of white powder on the ground, and I was able to go out and I was able to use my my new snowblower. And I gotta say, I am absolutely thrilled with that machine. I got it all tweaked. I got it all fully functional. Prior to that, I didn't have it set properly, and I was having issues with it I didn't have all of my gears, you know, for setting reverse. So I didn't have reverse while I was using it the first time around, and I tell you what, it was miserable. It was a beast trying to move that thing around to get it into places that I want, but this time around was just awesome. I couldn't be more happy. So I was able to get both my driveways done in record time versus what it took me last time to do it. And the last time was a Veterans Day, so I'm sure that probably didn't help any either. I usually have a lot of extra stress during that day. So yeah. N64. Man, this thing is still really just gnarly. So happy I took this thing apart. Glad I inspected it some more too, because it's just gross. Remember, I got a lot of these things secondhand from another seller here in town, supporting my small hometown businesses. So a lot of these things would just be all secondhand things that normally you wouldn't be seeing out in, like the things that I wouldn't want to have done to my controllers. You can see the wear on this one. And that's not even garbage on it. Yeah, let's just wear. And same with these two. These are all going to be just wear marks on them. Awesome. Alright. Let's start putting that controller together. Let's see if we can remember how these parts and components go into it. You know, I scrubbed this thing too. Some of these are fine, but some of these other are not. I'm tempted to stick it back in the sink again. When I'm back. Alright, controller's all nice and dry for the most part. Clean that PCB up some. And we're going to put it back together again and give it a shot and set the console. I gotta say though, when you're putting these controllers back together again, everything is very, very easy. I mean, every button has a notched system for where they go, and I was like, oh, so you don't have to worry about This is very easy to put back together again. I think the most troublesome part of it is the actual wires, because the cable is so thick. Otherwise, it's a very simple project. Hey Miwu, did you wake up from your nap? So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and finish this up. I'll see you all very soon. Right, so everything is working properly. And went through a nice thorough cleaning. I lost a couple of the screws a long time ago. This is one of my project controllers, so eventually I'll find replacements, but it's nice staying together. Let's check it out on the N64, shall we? Hey everybody, I am back this time. We're going to play a quick game with this controller, with the most recently repaired controller, and the Reality Quest, the glove. Yeah, this thing is awesome. Teddies. This one is going to be Conker. This one is going to be as you can see, top right corner, or top left corner, sorry. That one's mine. I'm the Teddy. And that's the new controller. Here's the one we just replaced. It's very responsive. But the one that I really want to use, my apologies for all the Velcro effect and sound, is the Reality Quest glove. It takes a little bit to get used to, but once you get it, it's actually a wonderful controller. A lot of times I see myself just touching it a little bit this way and this way to give myself a little bit of extra accuracy when I need it. Sorry, I'm looking through the camera lens. I shouldn't be doing that. And it, like I said, and it's a little bit, it's inverse too, but you can change the settings of how it's actually functioning. Gotcha. Man, I used to play this all the time. I still do. Find myself going back to playing Conker's Pet for a day. Yeah, I think the only problem with having a multi-screened or a split-screen game is that at any time you can see your opponent's screen and where they're located, so you can go and find them. I am using a S-video scaler, so if you see like strange anomalies or if it blips out on me, it's because I'm having issues with some of my equipment. I still need to tear apart the N64 and clean it as well. And I'm having a little bit of issues with her moving around, or the avatar moving in the direction I want it to go. It turns this way fine, but it doesn't want to turn this way now. That's the trick about this controller, is that you have to compensate while using it. But it's still a single-handed controller that, for me, it sets the N64 and the PlayStation original aside from any other console out there, because it actually has a one-handed controller. Yeah, I found this controller just out of the blue one day. It was at a pawn shop in Norfolk. If you hear that noise outside, that's plows and stuff moving around doing things out there. May even be the airport getting plowed out. Just getting some practice in here. Got him with it anyway. Yeah, it's inversed. So it's a little difficult to get my aim right. Sorry, it's really, really... Oh, I got... Awesome. But that's the reason why I like playing with the... You know, I had to have this controller at one point in time because I didn't have any other controllers. I only had one other controller with this one and two beaters that were not working properly. And using this controller, nobody wanted to use the one-handed controller. You know, the glove. Nobody wanted to use it. And I was like, well, I'm gonna get really good at using it. Or at least I'm gonna try. You know, I'm not gonna be saying that I'm excellent with this controller because no way am I good at this thing. It's just a nightmare at times. Oh, God, from nowhere. You hiding up in here? Yeah, he is. Ugh. Okay, I'm gonna have to go this way. Got him with it. But yeah, this is like the best way to play this game for right now is to practice with just drones or bots like this. So it's not complicated. They don't come after you with a vengeance when you get like 22 or so kills in the game. Well, that'll do it for me. Have yourselves a wonderful day. Be healthy, stay safe. Happy gaming, everyone. Greetings and welcome back to Spider-Man Ports channel. This time, Reality Quest, the glove. Yeah, this single-handed controller is absolutely incredible. It fits in your hand, just like that. The only problem that I'm having or issue with is that the knuckle of my wrist right here presses up against right here, and this is not that much space between this and the hard plastic, and it over an extended period of time it gets a little bit cumbersome. But that's the only gripe that I would ever have about this particular controller. I absolutely love it. I found it while I was going through my local pawn shops when I was in the military, in the Navy, along the East Coast. I would go through them and I would look for, you know, collectible items. I picked up a 3DO, a Panasonic 3DO, and I picked this up at the very same place. And I've never seen this controller ever in my life. I was like, what kind of a controller is that? That looked really neat. And then I found out that, you know, when I looked at it, I was like, that's an N64 controller? No way. How could this controller right here, how could this thing right here be an N64 controller? Well, this is your analog side of things. As you can see, or as you watched me play Conker's Bad Fur Day, this is what gives you your left or Z, X and Y axis on your controller. And the way that you set your X and Y, excuse me here, you could change it within these settings right here. You could do normal or reverse. I thought this was like Rumble Pack or something like that, but you just put the Rumble Pack in and you're good to go. You could have a high sensitivity or standard sensitivity or low sensitivity, and I find that specific games are better so that you don't have that what do they call that, lag or ghosting or just drift. That's what it is. They call it drift. But yeah, this controller, it is absolutely incredible. Yeah, I couldn't even the layouts of the finger buttons and stuff for that. It's right on the money. It's meant for a larger size hand. You could be like, my size hand, and it fits perfectly fine. If you had a smaller hand, I don't. It's always, it's all adjustable. Everything, even along the wrist here, is all adjustable. Here, let me get the little numbers and patents and stuff, so that I know everybody really loves that stuff. I don't know if you guys can get those or not. Trying to get my hand out of the way. Does it look good? I hope you guys can get those patent numbers. If not, I'll take a picture of it. Or you can go to their website too. But I'm definitely not going to take this thing apart. Do you see how many screws are already on this thing? No way. That's for somebody else that is going to be like reverse engineering something like this and reproducing another one. But see, I want somebody to make this one, but I also want them to make a left-handed one as well, so that you have both left and right controls. I think that would be absolutely impressive. And then if you write code for it too, or a program specifically for drivers for it, that you'd be able to use for both controls and play games with it that way. Oh, I couldn't imagine what it would be like to have that kind of control over a game, and then have all these buttons, if not more or less, however they want to, set it up. But I think having this all perfect, and then have a trackball up here. The ideas and the things that you could do with a controller that is like this, possibilities are endless. But yeah, thank you all so very much for watching, and thank you all to each and every one of you for making Spider McGavinport much more than what it used to be. I'm just flabbergasted of how many more subscribers and how much more views and everything that I'm getting for support on the channel. And just bless you all, and thank you so very much. It's greatly appreciated. Have yourselves a wonderful day. Be healthy. Stay safe. Happy gaming, everyone.